you guys make your way towards the little. There's this little tiny hovel. All right, it's probably like about as big as a walk-in closet, and this is Amos's workshop, like his little office. And he's got like all these little cubbies and stuff of scrolls and books and that sort of stuff, and all of the places where he keeps track of where things go in Marami's home. Because he not only handles like all of the logistics for whatever shenanigans Linkah and the rest of you get up to, but he also handles all of the business and communication stuff that goes through Marami's. And in fact, on occasion, he will share a bit of Southern coffee with Kazim, the head of the Wanderers. So, yeah, they have a mutual respect for the organizations that they represent. So. In any case, yeah. So you arrive at Amos's place, and he's looking through a Rolodex at the time. He's like kind of flipping through it, and it's kind of spinning it around on a little brass dial. And
that inclusion seriously just endeared you massively to me. I love Rolodexes.
Come on, bring it back. So he looks up and he says, "What is it that you want? I know you already owe me a shit for all of the drinking that you do. It's not all for free. It comes from somewhere. Amos knows." He's like pointing at the poor half orc.
I thought this was free for people in the band, man.
Free?
I've been drinking this like every day for like 5 years.
He's like clutching his condition.
What, Patrick?
I said, Amos, dear, remember your condition.
I know. Tambor. How many times must I tell you that nothing is free? It's always a cost.
When I don't. Oh man.
I can tell you about Skarnax the Terrible for free.
As you can, except for the years of my life that you drain away as you talk. What is it? What is it that you want? I am busy trying to find the name of this sprite that owes me silver. Nobody cheats Maramis. What is it? Out with it!
Grymand, who is doubtless in perfect standing with this persnickety, I believe was the word you used.
Yeah.
Character, because he doesn't make a mess, he shows up on time, and he always makes sure everything is signed properly.
He looks up at you with a very strange fondness in his eyes, and he says the very same word that Linkah uses for you, but it means a whole host of different things when he says, specimen. What can I do for you? And he's looking at
We're seeking information.
Information I have.
We're seeking information for... is it Elysian?
Yeah, Elysian, the Pale, and Crim.
For Elysian, the Pale, and Crim.
Yes. What about them? You know, they haven't returned. Well, Elysian's always going to go through those strings, but they haven't returned their costumes yet.
The costumes for the
last performance, huh?
Girl.
You like
people in your stupid fantasy names.
Gilgersa.
That one.
Yes, for the Gilgersa, yes. That's exactly the one. And he puts a pudgy little finger into the Rolodex where he stops it, and then he reaches behind him and he doesn't even look, and he pulls out a little small book, flips it open in his little tiny hand, and he slaps it down on the podium that's in front of him and stabs a finger down and he says, 3 crushed blue velvet coats, 2.5 if you call the one for Crim. Black pants, leather boots. Spectacles. Darkened spectacles. What do you call them? Sunglasses? Yes, 3 sets. And I'll probably need to get another guitar. out of Alician's hide. Go ahead. Yes?
When were the costumes due to be returned?
Yesterday. At least. I
Dear
need
me.
to have them cleaned. Alician stinks it up. He's a gnoll. He like looks around. Man. He stinks.
Probably hairy too.
Yes.
Genetic, I'm afraid, too.
Yes.
Very seriously, Grymand places a hand over his heart and says, "Dear me, this is something that should be seen to."
Finally. Someone who understands my plight in this place.
As he
Who
says this,
requested such strange costumes? Is that more of the Pale's fashion sense coming through?
Crushed blue velvet.
Maybe.
as Amos is bewailing the loss of these costumes, if we were seeing this like in a movie, in the background you would see Tambor walking into the shot and like refilling his beer behind Amos. Somehow got into the room where he's sitting.
I like that there's kegs in every freaking
everywhere.
room.
It's just it's in
Well, you know the water's
epidemic.
not fit to drink, so
It's like gas piping through the entire building.
Should be Tambor's
Only
magical
beer.
item. He just generates.
It might have to be.
never-ending Stein.
No, never ending or always found spigot or something like that. There's always just one like connected to the wall or just
Yep.
somewhere.
But
Yep,
it doesn't
the
create
whole
them.
building's
It's
piped
actually
for it.
taking other people's beer.
Yeah,
He just always finds them.
it's the nature of wishes, right? You wish for rain, it causes a drought somewhere else,
Right.
right?
He's got his Stein is a dowsing rod for beer.
Oh. And that's
Better
why
than
everybody's
used
yelling at
beer.
him for getting out of his stash because they somehow finds it every time.
You can actually find any liquid. He just only uses it for that.
I like it. Upon Tambor's approval, that should be canon. Okay, so yes, you just hear this like as he's like wrestling through pages and he's like nodding approval to Grymand's sympathy, and you just hear in the background this dribbling liquid. He's like, "Get out of my stash!"
Oh, sorry, man. This is
Hustling you out.
And then he pulls out a pen, and he's got this big old pile of papers that have a knife through it, and he just makes another mark on it. You know, looking down, you can see that it says Tambor, and there's hash marks all over it. And he's just like,
Many lines of perfectly ordered hash marks.
So, crushed velvet. Are you going to get my costumes back for me?
"I shall endeavor to aid this quest."
And I will join him on it.
What a terrible loss it would be if they were never recovered.
Well, yes. They're like worth 50 gold apiece. That's a lot of money out of my pocket. And that comes out of your percentage as well.
And what
No.
a horrible monster charged you 50 gold for such a monstrosity?
I just manage the books. I don't manage the quality. Ask the halfling. Now wait a minute. You use the word quest. That means it might cost me money. Do I have to pay you for this?
But of course.
I
believe Linkah promised a 5% fee from you for
I'm gonna have you roll a deception on that one.
No, are you gonna stop Grymand from actually being honest?
I was
Because
gonna
he's
say
gonna try and be honest.
you might get disadvantage from Tambor being like, "Really? He did."
Is
I'll take
is-
disadvantage
if
on that.
If that happens, yeah, sure. We'll go with disadvantage. Oh my
God.
gosh, it doesn't
Still
even
on 20.
freaking matter. It doesn't even freaking matter. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I'm not even gonna roll a counter because it's just too fun. Because
You
normally
said
you're
that
supposed to do like
Grymand
an
looks at
insight
you
check,
like,
right? I'm just like, no.
I'm glad I'm getting all the
What?
rolls out for non-important, completely pointless things early
could be
on, so I
important
can
for
get
you.
the
the ones
best
later.
rolls.
5%. Link is always giving away the whole home when it comes to this type of. Fine, whatever. 5%. He opens up another ledger that he's produced from somewhere. And he starts writing in something with a quill, and there's this like little inkwell that's floating in front of him that he uses to like dab in, and he does his little ledger work, and he claps the book closed. Why are you still here, not finding my uniform, my outfits? More questions do you have?
I think we'll
Have
be on our
others-
way.
Oh.
Unless somebody else or something.
Have others sought them?
What, the outfits? Oh, not yet, no. We haven't been back in the inventory. I keep a meticulous record about when they are in stock and available. Although not a lot of demand for blue crushed velvet. But...
The performers.
Oh, come to think of it, actually, yes. I would say, what was it now? Let me look around here. I think that there's a... Linkah said that they had an engagement somewhere in 3 days. Somewhere right on the river. It seems that the record's gone. The record's gone. The record's gone! He looks at Tambor. What did you do?
Look at me. Don't look at me, man.
Looks at the kobold. You been in my books?
No, sir. Well, not for that.
What? I knew it. I knew it.
I was looking for any sort of references to my lord Skarnax the Terrible. I did not touch anything else.
Your mentions of Skarnax the Terrible goes along with the other mentions that I have of yelling at Tambor for stealing my beer. Record's missing.
Do you recall
What was it?
any more?
No. Don't normally plan out that far. Just because things change so much in the sea. And I don't want to waste the time and the ink to try and, I don't know, put something down that's going to change. Doesn't look good in my ledgers. 5-day maximum. That's how far I go. Anything beyond that, it's nonsense. But he's like, he looks troubled as he keeps looking over at the journal book where there you can kind of see there's a page that's been torn out. It's like kind of a jagged edge to it.
So they were supposed to gig in 3 days together?
Again?
Yeah, that's what I understand. I mean, Jim's going to be setting up the... Although he did want to request for the harpsichord to be motored out. But, and so he was going to do sound setup, I think. But, no, he wanted the harpsichord as well.
So out of character, is there like an agent who gets shows for people, or it's just everybody in town knows about the troupe?
People can like pass word in towards Linkah to hire up the troupe. Sometimes they go out and they get their own kind of gigs. Like during the meeting earlier, that there was a mention that sometimes bandmates, and you may have tried this before. I don't know. Maybe you haven't yet. Or they'll go down and hang out with Kazim and his wanderers and kind of pick up on the scuttlebutt in the city to see who might be looking for a band or looking for entertainers, and then try and get the jump on the competition. And either you go straight there and then you report back to Linkah with your share of the profits, or you go to Linkah and then he squares away the deal. So sometimes people set up their own gigs, and I don't know, has your group ever done that before? Have you guys ever hung out at Kazim's and tried to pick up on the scuttlebutt? That's an actual action. You can have a proficiency in that. Pick up on scuttle. No, you can't. But
I mean, I guess what I'm trying to figure out of play is like Linkah would have told us if he had set up a gig for them in 3 days, and like I would he have given us that information?
Unless he's trying to keep it a secret.
maybe, I don't know. You can maybe ask him, or you haven't. Well, let me ask you guys this. Based on what you've kind of experienced so far with Lincoln and reading his history in the post up there, do you think that maybe he's ever deceived you in the past, that maybe you guys have found out about it?
Grymand doesn't.
I imagine he's probably done a few shifty things in the past, but that's just doing business.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, out of character, yeah, no, he's all about the how can I best manipulate my people to the highest level of business. In character, no, Deacon's too nice to think that of him.
I love that a nice kobold. So good.
I mean, Reggie definitely thinks that he did that, but would she be bothered by it? No. I mean, she is literally from a pit of vipers.
She's
And
like,
on
yeah,
that
it's all just good
bombshell.
business sense.
That's so good. Literally.
That's just the way the game goes.
Oh my gosh. That's
Oh,
going
no.
on Twitter.
Manipulating and betraying us. How completely unfamiliar to me.
I've never heard of such a thing. I'm offended. That's
Well,
good.
so we've got what we're probably going to get from Amos. Okay, who's the brains of the outfit here? I know I'm asking questions as
I
Grymand,
was
but
thinking we might want to work our way back.
You
Like,
too?
go to the gig, see what we can find out there. Meaning, talk to the nobles.
taunt the nobles?
Well, taunt.
That too.
Oh, talk to. Sorry.
Maybe a little bit of both. you never
I'm
know.
cool with that. I think we should talk to Kazim too, but and Grymand would talk to Kazim too because he understands that in noble circles there are people that organize things.
Oh, no. I definitely think we should talk to Kazim, too. I was just thinking the nobles just to see if anything weird happened there.
Okay.
And I think
Are we-
the
are we
rainbow
ready to
tunnels
time in?
is a last resort. I think.
What's that?
What's
I would say the rainbow tunnel is kind of a last resort.
Okay.
I kind of like the rainbow. I was thinking rainbow tunnels is more of a first kind of thing, but I also would understand us. I do think the nobles, like in character, I would think the rainbow tunnel is first, but I think the nobles is probably the best lead just because they were all three there, and then suddenly they've gone poof. So yeah.
Okay.
And then the Kazim's Wonders sounds like a good follow-up because they were both seen there after. So any changes that occurred at the noble's place would be maybe echoed in their behavior at the Wanderers. So
Well, I mean, I think it's apparent that Lady Ssibilant and Grymand are the two brighter of the party. No offense, Deacon.
no, I'm having fun playing him as a little bit naive and focused. So
I'd be fine if they bullied. Tambor's fine with going wherever.
I'm actually looking at my stats. My intelligence is 11, so I'm not genius, but I figure since I lived in the noble house, I have some ideas about that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would lend, especially narratively, I would think that would definitely lend towards some mechanical benefit, I would think. Yeah.
my intelligence is only 11, so I'm fine with not being the brightest.
Yeah, I don't think
It's
any
just
of
where
us
our
are.
focus lies.
Yeah.
Or
I don't think
doesn't.
any of us are like super intelligent. I'm at 12, so
Okay.
you and T get a natural slight bonus to it. So
Well, and the thing is, and kind of much to Grymand's point, there's, I'm gonna make sure I call you by your character names. Much to Grymand's point, your guys' intelligence is geared differently, right?
Mhm.
Yours is more of like the subtle variety, right? And that's the kind of that kind of thing, right? And then the kobolds is like an earnest intelligence. I really I see him as like just like the most awesome representation of somebody who is out there to share the gospel, right? Like just the most earnest of the group is so amazing and awesome.
So while we were filling out everything else, I finally went back and filled out the rest of my bonds and ideals and stuff. And I set on a bond. Skarnax the Terrible has sent me on a quest to determine the extent of his fame. So, like, literally, my dragon lord has sent me out to determine who knows about me and spread that some. So,
Right.
And then my flaw is I return to my quest sporadically as engaging in other business, almost always in the most awkward way possible. So I just randomly throw it in. So,
Just having this intense conversation about
I like
philosophy.
that. I
and
like
then-
that blues progression. It's really good. But have you heard about Skarnax? I mean,
It's like, that was
Also-
a really nice lager, but have you heard about?
you know what would be good in that beer? Skarnax.
And then I have my ideal as I must plumb the depths of knowledge of places I visit to work on my quest. So basically, it's like I'm not always caring whether they know about him. I just want to know if they know about him, so that I can say, "Oh yes, check. He has spread fame to here."
Awesome.
It's not that I want everybody to know about him. I just want to know if they know about him.
What's like and you know, forgive me for not knowing the lore of Skarnax, but what's like a symbol of Skarnax? What's like something that would pick up? And you can get back to me on that. That's fine if you want to have something that's
just some symbol. Okay.
Yeah, whatever
Red
symbol you can
glass,
pick up.
shape of a flame.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Ever since it just spontaneously popped up, I do kind of like to think that Reggie has been, at least for the last few weeks, trying to like make connections for like people that want to legitimately get half dragon blood into their family lines. And the Deekin is just not catching on to it at all, and she's still like trying to play the UNT subtlety game, and it's just not working at all.
Yeah, no. His intelligence is all focused on like really deeply searching for this knowledge. Yeah. Subtlety's not it.
See, I'm figuring.
Well, it's also kind of like, I want to set up a date with your God. I don't understand what you're trying to do here.
I want to kind of cut the middleman. I want to.
There's nothing
Would you
I
like
say
to
that
know
would be
more?
sacrilegious, so I'm just not even going to touch that one. We want to make demigods.
Yeah.
But why? We already have a god. Why would we want demigods?
Everybody needs a roadie, man. Everybody needs a roadie.
I feel like at this point, she's this close to just having puppets commissioned. And just being like, okay, so.
That would be amazing.
Spectacular. It's just spectacular.
And I'm thinking Grymand knows exactly what's going on because, you know, he's seen the matchmaking kind of in action in his family. So he understands what you're going for, but he only can explain it with examples from that horrible Ladies in Waiting magazine. And nobody understands what he's talking about. It was like the time that Lady Penelope's father brought in this stranger from the north. And everyone's just like,
Why doesn't he know the importance of the napkin? I don't understand.
That is not how you fold that.
That just shows that you're not ready for courting. That's all. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Clearly, if he has the pocket square in red,
Yeah.
he is looking for a bride.
I'll do it every time. Passion. All right, so I think we do the transition. So,
Sorry.
no. This is I believe me, this is all enjoyment on my side of this, and I hope everybody out there watching is enjoying this because I certainly freaking am. So, okay. So I think so do you guys go back and collect your gear? Do you even go back and face Monica again, or what? Do you guys just take off and head towards this venue?
Well, not having a lot of stuff, basically, Grymand will carry as much as he can with him at all times.
Makes sense.
gonna
Plus, you
say-
guys are about kitted out for a gig anyway,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah.
I will rely on my party members to restrain me from going back to say goodbye to Monica.
She's expecting us later. We shall return with burgers.
Yeah, we have to go get burgers. We have yet to get those yet.
Awesome.
Sorry,
right.
out of character. You should totally try and start, like, making the local eateries have Skarnax specials. It's like, have you tried the Skarnax wrap? It'll melt your face off.
Because in the corner, in the quarters where, there may be some areas where there's predominantly a certain type of species, right? You know, there may be like an area that caters more to kobolds, or some that may cater more towards, Yanti just go wherever they want. You know, they just kind of know where to go. But I think maybe in some of the areas where they serve the meat a little bit raw, that I think that's a great idea. I think they have the symbol of Skarnak on there, or they, like some places called like Skarnak's Revenge, or the crunchy of Skarnak, or just whatever.
It's Skarnax sauce.
Little kobold food stand or something.
Heck
There's
yeah,
definitely a
dude.
Skarnak
Heck yeah.
sauce. It's like the Tabasco of Sapphire Harbor.
Oh man, and it's like just a million Scovilles. It's like, you know, it's like the hottest. Every
Ghost
every
pepper,
year.
Tabasco.
No. This is canon. This is canon. Every year at the Festival of Arias, there is this Skarnak pepper challenge, and everybody has to eat that hot sauce that's made from that. There's a challenge out there. There has to be.
The kobolds love it.
Oh yeah, and they beat everybody. They don't even care. They
Yep.
beat everybody. All right, that's cool. I like it. So how do you guys travel? Do you guys like frequent the canal boats, or do you guys just travel by carriage, or do you walk?
Well, I was thinking, depending on how fast everybody else is trying to travel, Deekin probably rides on Grymand's shoulder. Also, if you could change your character name in Roll20 to be your character's name. So
I don't
that
know how to do that.
Oh yeah, wherever your little icon is on the bottom, you can right click on it, or I'm sorry, hang on. There's a double click. Oh no, never mind. Wipe that from
go
your
to the
memories.
little-
I didn't just
the
say
gear
that.
thing.
Go to the gear
settings.
thing.
It's in the gear thing, your display name.
Yeah, right at the
Yeah.
very top. It says display name. Yep. So you can change your name there. Good idea.
Because I keep like
Hey, look at that.
I remember that it like has these syllables, but
Is that better?
Okay. Yes,
That's
thank you.
awesome.
Sorry.
No,
No, it's fine.
It's all good, dude. It's all good. So
Yeah, so I imagine that Deekin probably, with permission of course, rides on Grymand's shoulder. So
Yeah,
if
you're
we're
welcome
traveling
to.
far and fast. 'Cause-
Do you have a tail?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I figure you sit on one shoulder and the tail kind of wraps around to the other shoulder.
Yeah.
So does secretly inside Deacon's little kobold heart, does he pretend like he's riding the shoulders of a dragon?
Like he's riding the shoulders of Skarnak.
Maybe. I might be a little bit too sacrilegious for him, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's got a very deep fondness and respect.
he likes being as close as possible to anything resembling a dragon.
Well, there
True.
you go.
And Grymand is most definitely that. Yeah, except for his brass, but it's okay.
It's reddish.
Reddish. Certain lights,
I also
certain
am
lights, especially in Sapphire
orangey
Harbor
brown,
at night.
so-
So as
I
we're
like to think
walking,
that Deacon's completely unaware of the way how racist dragons are against each other.
Yeah.
Like the whole metallic, chromatic divide. Because
No, he's just
Skarnax
like,
would never say that another dragon is like the dragons are inferior in any way.
no.
Do you think
Even if
there's
all
like
other
any
dragons are inferior to
is there any like Dragonborn West Side Story going on in Sapphire Harbor? You know, like where they have like brass gangs and like red gangs and that kind of thing. That'd be a
Well,
sight
if
to
there isn't,
behold.
there better be.
That'd
No.
be a sight to behold.
as we're walking through Sapphire Harbor, Tambor actually has his tambourine out, and he's kind of like got a little rhythm going while they walk, kind of keeping pace with everybody. Until we walk past some kind of venue where there's a band playing, and like instantly he's like playing along with the song while they're walking past. And as they're walking away, he's like talking about the song and this sick gig that he played with one of the guys and how they did this on that song. And so he's just kind of going on and on about all these different groups he's
Very
played with.
cool. Very cool.
He's just always turned on, functioning, running,
I
playing,
love it.
Ready to get.
And drunk.
Yes.
and that actually aids the fluidity of
Yeah.
going in and out of these events.
Look,
Yeah,
man,
it would make
not
tons of
everybody
sense.
knows this, but I drink to subdue the human part of my brain, man, because that's what gets in the way.
The human part of your brain.
Did I say brine, man? Yeah, humans are brine. They're salty, man.
It's just crazy, dude.
It's crazy talk. How'd you know I was thinking of salt? Sorry, get carried away here. So yeah. So you guys travel, I guess, by foot. It's on the south side of the city. I think
Is it
actually
the Sharks territory or the
I'm-
Jets?
yeah, that's right. Huh? I think I'll bring you guys over to like a picture of the map, just so you guys can see it. And again, I'm using one of an ancient map of Florence, so you guys can kind of like see what the basic shape of the place is.
So we've probably got some bridges to cross.
Yeah, every so often there'll be bridges. You might have to actually use a canal boat to get to a couple of these areas and stuff. But kind of like on the south, let's say on this map, it would be more towards the east side of the map, along that south side where there's that wall. Yeah, perfect. There's like a noble area. I don't know if everybody saw where he was pinging. That's perfect. Blammo. Yeah. Oh, I know what I can do. I can totally upload a pic. Upload a guitar pic. Never mind. I'll quit screwing around while I'm on camera. All right, stop it. So yeah, so you guys end up heading to the south side, and it maybe takes you like about an hour to get there. And as you're arriving in this particular area of the city, things are getting a little bit fancier, and the denizens are a little bit finer dressed, that sort of thing. So I guess it is appropriate that you guys are dressed up for a gig, because you look like you're either going to a show, you just came from a show. Yeah.
Grymand always does.
Yeah, well, Grymand always looks fine. So, yeah, we're all good there. So, you have the location. So, how do you guys find the location of this place? Is it based off of that history roll that you had, Lady Sssibilant? Do you know the location?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Once we get within a block or two of it, Lady Sssibilant's going to find a kind of out-of-the-way alley and use her disguise to shift into looking just like Pale in the powder blue uniform. Like basically the way she would have presumably looked at the gig.
So is this a spell that you're using, or are you using the earring?
The disguise earrings,
The
yes.
disguise earring, okay. So can you pop that into the chat for me real quick?
Sure.
And then just so I can kind of read it a little bit, I want to see what the mechanics are.
Yeah, it's just
I love it when the DM has to check rules. Just
Hey, you know what? Every game group that I get together, I usually find somebody who's better at the rules than I am, so I don't have to worry about it. Little GM trip for you kids. What was that?
How do I actually add it to the thing? It's just a hat of disguise.
Oh, okay. Actually, then I'll grab your character sheet and I'll take a look.
I just mechanically said it. You can make a hat of disguise look like any object, so I just role played it as being earrings.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I like it. Okay. No, I was trying to see what like the
wisdom save would be.
Yeah, exactly. Like what the mechanic is behind
exactly.
It just gives you
goes
the
off of
ability to
investigation.
cast the disguise self spell.
Patrick, how do you find these things? It's like when you sleep the first time in AD&D, and I was like, "What do you mean no save? What do you mean they're all asleep and dead now?"
By having played D&D for 17 years, Jason, that's how I know this stuff.
Decades will do that to you.
Particularly, I know about the hat of disguise from the time I played a vampire in a party with a cleric of, not Paylor. No, I think it was Paylor, who could have if he rolled anything above a natural 1 on a turn undead, would have instantly destroyed me.
Oh.
So I had a ridiculously high bluff and a hat of disguise, and spent all of my time pretending not to be a vampire.
That's handy.
I hate turn undead.
That is
I mean, it's very
handy.
useful, but it's thwarted me in the past. I bear grudges against spells. I won't lie.
I mean, I prefer command, but turn's good too.
Turns not too shabby.
All right, so are you telling the band that you're doing this by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that look like when he's getting that set up?
I'm just gonna go straight to the original inspiration and assume it's like a flash of pink light and Showtime synergy.
Yes. Freaking said it. Yes. If I could
I'm
roll
sorry.
a clip right
Let
now,
me-
I would.
Let me be UNT correct and Showtime synergy.
Yes. I love
I'm sure
it.
Tambor's
Got
going
an eye roll from my wife for that one, so I'm proud.
Yeah. Pro tip, baby. Love it.
Is Tambor paying enough attention not to be like, "Whoa, we found Pale"?
Oh, no,
It's like, how drunk are you?
he's paying attention. He likes this kind of flourish.
He likes this.
Okay.
kind of
She holds
stuff.
up a sign that just says "not pale." Oh wait, he can't read.
Oh wait, yeah. I can't do that. You can't do that.
It's actually just a picture of you. You keep it on your person, so when you change, you just hold it up so everybody knows that it's you, and then you put it away again.
I love it.
Poor Tambor.
Yeah. Poor Tambor. All right, so yeah, you guys arrive at the home of the bleh, I can't even pronounce the word. Gilgirsu.
You did it to yourself.
Quiet, you. Gilgirsu. It's getting late. That's gotta be really late for you guys. So then you arrive, yeah. So what kind of entrance are you guys gonna make? I mean, are you guys just going up, knocking on the door?
I mean, I'm tempted to just kind of like scale the wall, pop in through an upstory window, but that's not the right context for the situation.
Probably not, but you never know. Keep
Unless
it in mind.
I'll
directed
save that.
otherwise.
I said I'll save that kind of action. I'll just continue riding on Grandma's shoulder.
I was going to say, unless told otherwise, Grymand will walk up to the door, bolt upright like he does, and just knock.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
happy with that.
He's very direct. He's not. He can perform, but he doesn't lie, as it were. Like he doesn't use a lot of the shifting facades for life just for shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
No,
sounds good.
you know what? That makes to me that makes a lot of sense. I like it.
Mhm.
So
And Pale is just going to kind of sway a little bit right behind her, trying to put on her best impersonation of whenever she gets into the
Oh my
the
God.
vapors.
I love it.
Only it's really kind of sarcastic.
A little bit, yeah.
I bet.
I'm so airheaded. Look at me.
Look at me.
Look at what a talented elf I am. Oh my god.
So yeah, so you guys arrive at the home, and I think it has, because Sapphire Harbor, even in the places like this in the Noble District, it's pretty compacted, just because there's not a lot of room in the land. There's a lot of water, and some of the prime real estate is being taken up by some of these larger homes. And so I think that this place it's got a short wall around it, like wrought iron wall that abuts right up onto the street that's right there, or I should say a sidewalk, and then a couple of piers that lead into for the canal, so you could actually use a boat to come up here. And it's probably 3 stories tall, from what you can tell. And so fast. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Knock it off. So you watch as I assume you say it was Grymand that's heading up to the door.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah. So you
with me on shoulder.
Yep.
Perfect.
So it's a couple of dragony faces they're gonna see.
I'm right behind him, grinning real big.
So
Waiting
yeah.
to
So
refill the glass.
you come up and knock on the door, and after a few moments, you hear like the heavy those heavy handled door pulls. You hear like something kind of slip out of the way, maybe a lock of some kind, and then the big handle turns, and then the door opens a crack, and there's this elderly man of probably 70 years, dressed up in like a jaunty cravat and a butler's uniform, all set to buttle you. And he opens the door and he looks at you two, and he looks at the kobold kind of swaying there on the shoulder, and then looking at Grymand and says, "But we've already given to the Church of Skarnak, so what is it that you want? We gave last month."
Well, thank you. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. That is not why we're here today.
It's just me. I think I forgot something last time I was here. If Pale doesn't talk in a Valley Girl accent, then I apologize. That's how exactly how
She totally does.
It's canon now. That's what happens. He
she probably sounds much more intelligent, like in reality. But
who would instinctively roll an insight check,
Uh,
watching the reaction of this guy?
Well, I'm gonna raise a hand because
I don't know if my
this
video
is my
on, but I'm
world
raising a hand.
Yeah.
in a way.
yeah, I wouldn't, even though I'm good at insight checks, but I have no reason to check this gentleman right
Yeah,
now.
Well, I mean,
Not a
I mean,
chance.
half the reason I disguised myself was to try and elicit a reaction. So
So
The other
I
half
guess-
being to discredit
So,
Pale.
yes, okay, so then I guess does that leave you, Grymand, to do so?
Grymand and Sybil.
And Sssibilant. All right.
I'm looking for insight on the sheet thingy.
Oh, left-hand side, you have your stats,
Oh.
and then you have the box that has all your
Who
ability
doesn't want
checks.
to do this? Do we have Jack of all trades? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
So we get half of our proficiency anyway.
Actually, before you roll, hang on, I'll make sure that you have everything checked because in
You can actually enable Jack of Trades
Yep.
to automatically add to all of your stats.
and
I'm gonna let you do that.
I
since
have checked it, so you should see your character sheet numbers change a little bit on those skills.
That's less depressing.
There you go.
All right. So just click on it.
You got it. Now, I would say that you guys could help one another, but the only problem is that you guys are kind of going separately on this. But
That's
So-
okay. I don't know Jack.
Do you have a wisdom of -1?
I do.
Oh, okay. Now just making sure I understood that properly.
all right. So I think
You were distracted by his cravat.
for Grymand, I think that normally, I mean, butlers can be older, yeah, but this human's pretty old to be a butler, and maybe it's something that's kind of throwing you off. That dude, just in his 70s, man. Usually they retire or they're off at buttling school or something, teaching others how to buttle. But yeah, this guy's still holding strong. Now,
He's of a buttling fashion that was before my time.
right, there you go. Now, Lady Sssibilant, because I don't know how to pronounce your other name, or Regina. So Regina, you notice that he's shocked to see you. What is it that you've forgotten?
It was like a little thing, like one of those things. I'm sure you would have noticed it. You can't miss it.
Like a microphone.
Sorry, I just swapped accents badly there.
No, you're all good. It's one of those things, right? That
It's like just one of those things.
Perhaps I'm mistaken. I think you received what you needed. Yes. He's like about to close the door.
Puts her hand on it. Look, I'm gonna be honest.
He takes a step back from the forward contact. Like he's like, "Ooh."
I'm gonna be honest. I don't kind of remember everything that happened. What was it I was supposed to have taken with me? Because I don't think I have it.
He like his eyes like go wide. It's plain. His shock is plain on his face, and if he could get any paler, he would. Master Confessor would be in shock. Those books were worth a fortune. Why would you? And he like looks around, and he like looks inside, and he steps out front of the door, and he closes it behind him, and he's like standing prim and proper, and you can see his full frame. He's very thin. His suit is like super tailored to him, and he's got the butler tails coming out in the back and everything, and he looks more closely at you, and he says, what did you do with them? Please tell me you did not throw them away. Just bring them back, and I'm sure the master will forgive you.
What?
Never fear, sir. We will find them. This is only our first stop in looking.
Which?
Who the
Remind me
damn are
which
these
ones
people?
they
It was
were,
enough we had to
like-
allow the Knoll into the house, but who are these people?
These are like the new band.
New band, we have no more need of performances. You had your chance to perform, and you were given your credit due. Now, you proved yourself worthy. Now, just take what you have and go.
I like taking action.
All right.
I'm gonna click that, which is suggestion.
Oh. All right.
So it's a DC 14 Wisdom save.
Okay. I will.
And if you scroll up a little bit, you can see exactly what that spell does.
I like it. Okay. So
I
what does
love
it
that
look like
spell.
when you? So what does it look like when Tambor is doing this? What does he use?
I needed to see what the what are the items he has to have to do it? What are the
little components and stuff.
the components?
Any material components can be replaced by your instruments because a bard's focus is their instrument.
Okay.
And guess what you're hauling around?
Yeah, so he's
all the time.
He's headed out already.
A full 12-piece drum kit, right? No, I mean
It's okay.
tambourine.
Apparently, for that particular one, I double qualify, as I always have the material component in my mouth, and my mouth is my instrument.
So he just takes the old man's looking at the pail, and he just takes the tambourine, kind of like to snap him out. He goes, just hits it on his palm and says, "Listen, man, she had a rough night. She doesn't remember what happened. Just tell her what happened the other night."
Okay. And are you like kind of you're rattling the tambourine a little bit?
Yeah, it's kind of shaking it down as I'm talking.
Okay.
And it fades, so it's the loud, and then it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
Darn it.
Yeah. So he looks in you and he let's see here. So what happens if he fails? Does he know he's trying to?
No.
First action, session activity. Blah, 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 blah. All right, cool, good. He just look. There's no. Just bring the bad books back. Everything will be accorded as you had enough time with them already. Return them, and I'm sure there'll be no trouble.
Out of
Which
character.
books? You mean the
Bat
ladies in
books
waiting ones?
or bad books?
What's that?
Was that bat books, B-A-T, or bad books, B-A-D?
Oh, bring back the books.
Oh, bring back
Sorry,
books.
yeah, it's my bad English accent. And so, what were you saying? The lady in waiting books.
Yes.
Lady in waiting. No, lady in waiting. No. You wanted the ancient history of the elves in this region. We brought it to you, and then now just return the books. You said you only needed them for a small endeavor.
Oh, right. I think I remember leaving those on the toilet. Oh, whatever the existence of that is here.
Oh yeah, there is now. He's like, let's just keep the sewer sprites away from them. All right, they eat paper. How could you leave them there?
You did say the history of the elves out of character, right?
Yeah. History of the elves in the region. Yeah.
Did she say why she needed those?
Small endeavor.
Did you say? Is that what?
Yeah, Deacon's actually asking him that. Could you?
I don't
Could you
know.
tell
He like
us
looks
why?
over at Lady Sssibilant, who looks like the Pale, and looks back at the kobold and says, "Would you ask her?"
She was too high. She doesn't remember. Could you just take a moment and tell us?
It makes my art better.
Oh, we get a little persuasion roll there.
Nice. Okay. All
It
right.
was a really bad roll considering how good I am at persuasion.
It's okay. So I think it's just a wisdom save, right?
Probably.
Yeah, sure. Now you know what? I'll make it a target. I think that's. Yeah, because I'm thinking of his 3 motivations, and one of them is, is getting triggered right now, most definitely.
Go ahead
He
and tell us
looks-
what that motivation is.
What's that?
So go ahead and tell us what that motivation is.
I will not.
A suggestion.
He looks up at above the door. There's a couple of windows, and he squints his eyes, and you can see in the dark light that one of them is kind of cracked open a bit, and his voice, which was kind of pitched at a certain level, is now pitched down lower. And look, just return the books. And, I understand you wanted to know more about. She wanted to know about the region of the place. How could you ask for these specific books? And I don't understand entertainers. I don't understand it. I know there's a place for you here, and the city is built on it, but don't understand. Please, just bring the precious to my master and his friends. Just bring them back. Yes?
Pale, don't you still need to go get your thing in there, like your microphone or scarf or whatever it was?
No, he begged that one off. He said that it's not in there. So.
No. I can allow you in here. Look, I've only been outside long enough. Please, just go.
I mean, can I like come in and get a drink or something?
You most certainly. No, you most certainly may not. How would you
He's really thirsty.
I don't understand why you're talking
drink for the canal for all I care? And he points to the canal.
Grymand's gonna look at his party and kind of do the subtle face of, "Are we good?" Kind of like at Pale specifically, quote unquote.
Yep.
Pale.
Yeah, Pale is gonna start kind of wandering off as though she has no idea why she was here in the first place.
Okay, so Grymand will then turn and, placing a hand on Deacon's tail for stability, do a half bow like he always does when he's leaving a room.
I will also like bow from your shoulder as well.
It's like a double bow. And say, "Thank you for your assistance. We shall endeavor to return them as soon as possible."
And Tambor will put his hand on the guy's shoulder and say, "Man, it's real cool meeting you. Thanks for helping out."
Yes. Listen, and he actually like kind of reaches out to Grandma's forearm real quick, and he says, he needs them by tomorrow morning. Please, talk with her." And he look as she is Lady Sssibilant / Pale is kind of like wandering around, like oh. She's, please speak with her. Get them back. He needs them.
Grymand gives like a sharp nod, kind of acknowledging this, but not continuing the conversation.
He dips his head in gratitude and stands back and kind of reaches behind his back expertly to open the door, and then kind of
disappears.
Shrinks his way.
As he goes, Deacon waves.
I love it.
Thank you again for your donation.
I don't understand these places that don't have beer taps all around, man.
As he looks down at
Tambor
his full
actually just reached into the guy's jacket, took out his flask, and just threw it in his thing and put it back.
Give that back to me.
Get out of my stash.
Oh man, that's pretty good. So I think like with as you guys are kind of turning around, you hear like from the window up above, you hear the beginning of like a lyre type of strings, like a guitar of some kind or whatever, starts to play a song, and I think like you hear the I was gonna try and sing it. I will not. So you start to begin to hear like lyrics being played, and or being sang, and the voice is rich. It's got a certain, I don't want to say like raspiness to it, but a certain edge to it that means it could probably like cut loose and let go, at some point. But to one of you, the music sounds pretty familiar. It's a song that you've heard before. Which one of you is that?
I'm gonna roll a history check to see. 'Cause like I said before, as we're hearing music, he's remembering whether or not he's played with people before, so maybe he recognizes the voice or something or the song. So I got a 16.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was actually going to see if I could roll a performance check for memory of performances and participations.
Okay. All right. Do that.
I'm definitely playing my tambourine already with the song.
I got a bit of role-playing inspiration, and so I was writing it down and didn't really follow exactly what happened here.
Oh.
There's music going?
Yeah, there's did you miss what I described? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something coming out of something else. Music coming out
Oh,
of
the
something.
window that was kind of cracked up above, like on the
Oh.
second floor, you can hear music coming out, and the music sounds somewhat familiar, but to one or two of you, maybe it's a little bit more familiar than the others.
Okay,
I
well
wound up
then
with
I'll
a
let the
16
people
too.
going.
Okay. Well, one's looking at it from kind of a history standpoint. Other one is looking at it from kind of like performances. Explain that again to me, Grymand.
Well, basically, he's made a study of performance in itself, not like the history, but things that he's attended because he believes in the skill patience dedication method. He attends all the different kinds, and he looks for the different experiences, and at the same time he also has the experience of performing privately with his mistress. So he's just looking at his experience in performances rather
So
than
it's-
like
It's not so much of a like history of knowing this particular kind of performance in this case, but more of his general knowledge of performance types
his
and
experience
types of music.
performances and whatnot.
Knowledge of genres, aka performance.
All right. And then with
It's
Tambor, he's looking
being
at.
cheap.
I like it, but Tambor, that's kind of like you're looking at it from a standpoint of like, have you heard somebody play this before, or have you jammed with somebody?
Yeah, anytime he hears music, he's like thinking, "Oh, have I jammed with them before?" So he's thinking specifically of the voice, the way the song's being sung, or the instruments being played. Maybe he recognizes like who this might be,
Gotcha.
or it's a technique from some school in the area.
Okay.
So basically we're
hey,
asking the
Jeff?
same thing from different roles.
How much longer do you think we're gonna have?
We're about coming into a close here, so
Okay,
maybe
thanks.
like 10 minutes maybe.
Okay.
So we play this music, and I think maybe kind of like viewing it from two perspectives is a good way to kind of close it out. The for Grymand, he's thinking about some of the different songs that maybe in his household he'd heard, and then some of the different songs that he's heard along the road. But sometimes there's this one genre that maybe it does speak to him. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. But there's the genre of the lament. There's the it's not just a lament, but it's also a sadness for causing the lament, for being the source of a lament. Oh my gosh, you're doing it for me. Sorry. But being the cause of the lament. And I think it's a very, very niche place to be when it comes to music in Sapphire Harbor, because most of the time it's either, super happy, it's like hard rock, it's speed metal, it's old classics. It could be classical music and stuff, but very rarely do you hear like sad songs. There's sad songs like country music where it's hey, I lost my truck and all this other stuff, but there's a reason for it, because it's kind of bluesy and it's cathartic. This is more of like an apology. It's an apology of music. So there's that. There's that genre. And then for Tambor, you've heard this. If not the words are different. They're a lot different, but you've heard the song before.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the very rare instances where you were drinking out in the hall out front of Linkah's office, and you were going to go in. You whatever reason you were there, what's a reason that would precipitate you going to his office, like on your own?
Just looking. I had a spare night and decided I wanted to go gig with somebody, so I'm going to go see if he's got any spots open.
Yeah. Now, you guys have never seen or heard Linkah play. The only person who has is Tambor. You've heard him play.
Mm-hmm.
And you had your hand on the door and you were about to like, oh my gosh, I'm going to totally jam with Linkah, right?
Okay.
And because from this room is about the only room you've never heard music coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this song. But when you heard Linkah singing, it was a good voice, but it was sad, man. It was bumming you out.
Mm-hmm.
But the words were different.
It's not him singing though right now.
No, it's somebody else.
Can we tell if it's a dude or a chick?
It's a dude.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm trying to decide if Tambor would want to climb up there and see who it is singing.
Yeah, you
If you
could always
tried,
ask
Grymand would
me.
stop you.
Yeah, I know,
No.
right? You probably want to send.
Now I
send
really
Kobold.
want to do it.
So you're kind of listening to the music, and the first refrain starts, and man, I'm really tempted to do, but I'm not gonna. But the words are, "Talk to me softly. There's something in your eyes. Don't hang your head in sorrow. Just don't cry. I know how you feel inside, and I've been there before, but something's changing inside you, and don't you know?" And then it goes into the chorus. "Don't you cry tonight. I still love you, baby. Don't you cry tonight." And then that's the kind of the music that's being played right now.
You're gonna link that, right? Like, so we actually.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I will.
Is Tambor really gonna try and climb up?
I just rolled a wisdom roll to see if he would do it, and I rolled within my wisdom, so I'm not gonna go. I really want to though. I'll go with the dice.
Let's say Grymand would have stopped you, because this is a private song.
Tambor's wily.
Huh?
Crazy, man.
Grymand's a gifted performer and acrobat, so.
I don't know. Out of play, like I feel like that's a really important. Like whoever that is and why they're singing seems really important to our quest.
I don't doubt that out of play, but like I said, I think Grymand would respect that style of song is private.
Yeah.
It's like reading somebody's love letters that's just, no. It's not cool, dude.
I will
The
say,
Ladies in Waiting magazine explicitly forgives this kind of intrusion.
forbids.
Forbids.
I
If you
will
don't read
say,
their love letters, how are you going to find out all their secrets?
it actually kind of lines up with Deakin's drives that he would try to figure out as many different secrets as he can, because he's searching everything for knowledge. So, him scrambling up the wall and peeking in wouldn't be out of his character alignment at all.
Do it, man.
I'm ready to
So-
roll my dexterity to stop you.
Okay, so I'll do an acrobatics to contest your acrobatics, or your dexterity, I would say. Oh, that was not a good one.
Hold on.
That's not bad, actually.
Am I just rolling straight dexterity?
I'd
To wrangle
say,
me?
yeah, to grab, I would say you probably do like a, would it be a strength? Yeah, do a dex. I guess a contested dex, because he's trying to squirrel away. I would almost say strength, but yeah, we'll go with dex.
Dex. No idea what just happened because I can't do it.
Man.
Oh, you did a dex save. Hold on a second. Saves. Are you proficient
What
in dex saves? That would still be a 21. You still beat me
Yeah,
because you rolled a 18 base.
yeah.
I only rolled an 8 base, Jeff. I have +9 to acrobatics. So the fact that I got caught there.
So, I
Should
think
I
like
not have done that one?
No,
no, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, if you click on the stat itself,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it just
Hold
rolls.
on, I don't even know where that is.
But I think like you would still beat it.
yeah, you still would have beat me with that roll because that
Okay.
would just been
So-
that would have been 18 + 3. So
Well, let's. So I think yeah, like you're trying to like.
so I
slip
start to get
away.
up and she just kind of clamps her hand on my tail and I sit back down.
All right.
Yep. But Grymand will turn and kind of work you guys towards Pale, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then ask what else she knows about this household, because we might be able to figure out who's singing from what we could learn about the household itself. Because it's a dude who's had training and has reason to be singing horribly sad songs. So.
I'm just like looking at my spell list and it's like, nah, I don't see anything that would like help me in this situation.
Well, I've added a piece of I've changed one of the names of the folders there for you guys called Missing Persons and Evidence, and I've popped the piece of evidence in there for you.
That's good. Also, I would like to make it if sunglasses are a thing that exists in this world, Deekin definitely wears a pair out in public
100%.
because sun sensitivity.
And also, it's cool looking.
Well, it's
And also
nighttime
it's cool
now,
looking.
too. It's nighttime, but yeah, it's cool looking.
Okay.
Well, he wears his sunglasses at night.
Maybe not, but yeah, he could. He sees, in perfect darkness as if in dim light. So, who cares about a little extra dark?
So I think let's do this. I think maybe we have Deacon's trying to squirrel away, but Grymand grabs him, and I think what we see is Grymand's looking up at the window, his kobold frame trying to strain against Grymand's strength, and I think in the reflections of those shades, we see the reflection of the home, right? The noble house. And it's kind of distorted a little bit, right? With the dancing lights in Sapphire Harbor and that sort of thing. And I think what we wind up seeing is the backlit shape of a man with a guitar playing as he's singing. And I think that's probably where we'll kind of go to black. We'll fade to black. And that song kind of carries us into the credits.
Credits roll.
Yeah, as the credits roll, and we save this leg of the mystery for next episode.
Okay, I'm making a note that I want to ask you something.
Yeah, it's I think definitely something that would catch Sssibilant's attention, because sad noble getting into music, kind of, not that she's sad, but noble getting into music against their normal behavior.
Yeah,
sounds like right up her alley.
For sure.
I mean, she's already slandered Pale today, so
yeah, why not?
So she's feeling pretty good, man.
Well, great job, everybody. I mean, it took a different turn than I was expecting. I had a couple other things prepped, and then, like I said, leave it open-ended, see where you guys go. And I like the tack that you've taken. It's pretty cool. So I think we will bid our audience adieu as we bring the episode to a close. But thanks for being here for the show. If you want to find out a little bit more about the folks around me, I'll see what kind of things they want to post up about, maybe their Twitter feeds, the Heidi and Heroes, the Mad Cleric, and his other changed name of website, which I will not honor until it's fully, you've gotten rid of Mad Cleric altogether. But no, I'm kidding. Of course I will. So check it out in the show notes if you want to find out more about InnRoads Ministries and InnRoads Plays and what we do. Check it out. There will be a link down there for our Facebook group, The Tavern, where you can find out. This is actually where I met all of these wonderful kooky creatures all around me. I met them here and along the Twitters. So friends can be found in all the craziest of places. But until next time, thanks for watching, and we will see you back in Sapphire Harbor here very soon.